Hello, welcome back to a new video. Today I decided to do a weekend reading vlog. It's Saturday today, it's like mid-afternoon Saturday, and I actually have Monday, Tuesday off, because I have to work next Saturday, Sunday, so I got 2 comp days to take, and I ended up taking them this weekend. So I have a 4-day weekend, and I figured it'd be fun to do a reading vlog. Haven't done one of those in a while. I got up later than I anticipated this morning, so it kind of set me back because I wanted to start this vlog a little bit earlier than what I am, but that's okay. So I got up a little bit later, and then I finished the book that I was reading, The Hero of Ages, which it's a good thing that I decided to vlog after finishing that, because I spent a good portion of the morning absolutely sobbing, because it was a phenomenal end. Like, I absolutely loved it, had a wonderful time, full of like action and even more like high intensity than the previous 2. However, it like ripped my heart out because Brandon Sanderson has like no boundaries to what he will do to torture a reader's heart, but it was just a really well done ending. But yeah, I'm glad that I decided to not start that vlog until after I finished that, because otherwise would have been a complete mess. Makeup would have been a mess. And I'm a really ugly crier to begin with, so we don't want to see that. Maybe one vlog, maybe one day I'll vlog myself as I finish a book that destroys me, but today's not that day. So I finished that, and then I am currently listening to an audiobook, which, prepare yourselves. I hope you're sitting down, because it happens to be a non-fiction audiobook, which is like unheard of on this channel. I think in the entirety of this channel being a thing, I have not read a non-fiction book, but for whatever reason, my brain, like, the other day was like, I have to clean. Well, let me put an audiobook on to motivate myself, and, like, why don't we just pick a nonfiction audiobook? So, nonfiction audiobook in order to motivate myself to clean. Not sure how that worked out, but it did. So I'm currently listening to, it's called Unthinkable. There's like a second part to the title. It's How the World's Strangest Brains Can Teach Us About Our Own. Something like that. So we're following this neuroscientist journalist as she goes and meets with 10 different people that have the most rare brain conditions, or like not like mental illness, but like, I guess, mental disorders. And she talks about each of their case studies. Each chapter is like each of these 10 people. She talks about their case studies, but the big point of this is to then like talk with the people themselves and learn about them as people, and how they kind of have learned to work around kind of their mental issues that may be debilitating for them, and how they've learned to function in today's society despite that. So for instance, one woman is perpetually lost. She, even in her own home, she'll suddenly get this feeling that the world is like wrong, and she'll be in her house, but it won't look like her house, and so she won't know where she's supposed to go. It's like her mental map of the world, it's non-existent, but then it also is just like her world feels like flipped. There's another man who remembers every single day of his own personal life, and these memories kind of frequently pop up unwarranted, and he will kind of like see a like home video in his mind's eye. He'll see like a home video of that day or whatever. And then I'm currently listening to, I think, like the 4th or 5th person, and this man had a blood vessels burst in his brain, and it completely flipped his personality, but also made him almost like see reality in a different way. I'm currently working through his chapter, but I'm really enjoying it. This book is so fascinating. So I am looking forward to continuing that this weekend. I actually am hopefully going to put together a fun little The World of Dracula puzzle that my husband gave me for Christmas. I've been itching to work on that and put that together, so I figured today would be a good day to do that. So I'll probably listen to that audiobook while I'm working on that. So that's the audiobook that I'm going to be listening to. But in terms of physical books, I really don't know what I want to read next. I know if I were to continue with like my journey through the Cosmere, since I finished the Mistborn Era 1 trilogy, I watched the video by Brightness Katie Reads. I'll link it down below if you're interested in checking it out. And she recommends reading Warbreaker, which is the first book in a separate series from the Mistborn series, because the Cosmere is like several different Brandon Sanderson series all set in the same like universe, and they're all supposed to be interconnected somehow. But she recommends starting Warbreaker next, and I do have that on my cart. So if I were to continue with the Cosmere right away, I would pick up Warbreaker. I want to, but I also feel like if I pick it up, I'm going to go into it hoping that I have the same characters, and I already know that's not the case because it's a completely different series with a completely different storyline. And so I don't think I'm gonna quite pick that up yet. And so because of that, like I don't know what I want to read. So we're using our handy dandy little TBR jar. We're gonna let the TBR jar pick. So I'm a little nervous. I'm excited. I always get like nervous and excited whenever I go to use this, just because like who knows? Who knows what it's gonna be? But I've got all my books that are on my cart and downloaded on my Kindle, listed in here on slips of paper, and we are going to pick one. Ooh, interesting. Alright, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I want to read that one. I'm gonna pick three. And then I'm going to pick from there. So the first one is Realmbreaker, which is another high fantasy book. Yeah, I'm going to pick three. I'm making up the rules as I go. I'm going to pick three, and then I'm going to pick one from there. Those three. 'Cause I don't really know if I'm quite up for Realmbreaker. See, I use this jar, and then I'm not going to adhere to the jar. I'm using it enough. Okay, and then A Lesson in Vengeance is the next one, which I don't know if I'm quite up for that one either. I'm just gonna keep I feel like this is gonna turn into I'm just gonna keep picking titles out of here until I find one that I actually am vibing with right now, but I don't know, we'll see. And then the third one is The Hangjin Murders. I have these three to choose from: Realmbreaker, A Lesson in Vengeance, and The Hangjin Murders. I'm leaning towards The Hangjin Murders. That one is pretty short. Like, it's like, that's spoiling the book. Oh, it's like less than 200 pages. Like, I could easily read that this weekend and then get another one in. Realmbreaker is like supposed to be the first in a very high fantasy book, and I've heard the beginning is very info dumpy. And I just came from a very high fantasy complex trilogy, so I'm not quite sure if I'm ready to jump into a new one. A Lesson in Vengeance, I've heard mixed reviews on. I've heard there are really, really good aspects of it, and then I've heard there are aspects that people are just like, that was not needed. It's supposed to be like a dark academia borderline horror novel, but then The Hangjin Murders is actually a translated work from Japan, and it's supposed to be like one of their biggest like murder mystery novels. And to be honest, I think I'm going to go with The Hangjin Murders. I'm excited about it, so I will read the back to you. In the winter of 1937, the village of Akamura is abuzz with excitement over the forthcoming wedding, but amid the gossip, there's also a worrying rumor. It seems a sinister, masked man has been asking questions around the village. Then, on the night of the wedding, the household are woken by a terrible scream, followed by the sound of eerie music. Death has come to Akamura, leaving no trace but a bloody samurai sword thrust into the pristine snow outside of the house. Soon, amateur detective Kasuke Kindaichi, I think that's how it's pronounced, is on the scene to investigate what will become a legendary murder case, but can this scruffy sleuth solve a seemingly impossible crime? So I know kind of the big part about how this is supposed to be like an impossible crime is all of the windows and doors are locked from the outside, or from the inside of the building when, they go to investigate the murder. So it's like, how did the murderer get in and get out while also keeping everything locked from the inside? So I'm excited for this. Yeah, I'm actually, now that I'm like talking about it and thinking about it more, I'm really looking forward to this. But I think for now, I'm gonna listen to the audiobook and work on that puzzle. So I will check in with you later. Hello again, we are back. So it's actually Sunday morning now. It's like 8 o'clock? 8 o'clock in the morning, and I am getting ready, well, I am ready now to go out to a coffee shop. I'm going to do some reading. Yesterday I did not get very far at all in The Haunting Murders. I actually only just read the first chapter. I got pretty focused on doing the puzzle and listening to my audiobook, which my audiobook I have about an hour and a half left, so I'll probably end up finishing that on my trip to and from the coffee shop while I listen to it on the bus. Or, there might be a little bit left over, so I'll just finish that up today. That's my plan. Same feelings as I was talking about before. Very fascinating, very interesting. I love how the author brings the humanity back to the person instead of keeping it just the cold cut and dry facts of the case study. She brings their personalities into it and reminds us that they are, in fact, people. But I do want to read something a little interesting about the Haunting Murders. I have a little more information on kind of just like the background of the author and the book itself. In here in the front, like I said, this is a translated work from Japan, but it gives a little information about the author, so I will read it out to you. It says, Saishi Yokomizo, 1902 to 1981, was one of Japan's most famous and best-loved mystery writers. Writers. He was born in Kobe and spent his childhood reading detective stories before beginning to write stories of his own, the first of which was published in 1921. He went on to become an extremely prolific and popular author, best known for his Kasuke Kendachi series, which ran to 77 books, selling more than 55 million copies and spawning many stage and television adaptations. The Hanjin Murders is the first Kasuke Kendachi story and regarded as one of Japan's great mystery novels. It won the first Mystery Writers of Japan Award in 1948, but has never been translated into English until now. Saishi Yokomizo's The Inugami Curse is also available from Pushkin Vertigo. So The Inugami Curse is the second one in the Kasuke Kendachi detective series, and then I did see that I think the third one has also just recently been translated into English as well. I think it was translated and published back in December. So that's exciting, and if I like this one, I definitely think I'm going to try to continue keeping up on this series as they become translated. But yeah, I am gonna head out to a coffee shop, hopefully read a good chunk of that, and kind of just enjoy some coffee and some yummy breakfast, and then I will check in with you later. Hello, it's Sunday evening and I've got another update. I am officially 100 pages into, actually exactly 100 pages into the Hanjin Murders. I also finished the audiobook Unthinkable. Again, really enjoyed it. Author and the narrator, same person, did a phenomenal job. It's really easy to follow. Everything is explained in ways where you don't need to have like an extensive knowledge of neuroscience or the brain or any sort of like scientific background at all, really. She explains things in really easy to follow manners, and like I said, I just really enjoyed that she brought a sense of humanity and like brought the personality and the person back to the forefront of kind of the discussion of the disorder that they're dealing with. So I really enjoyed it, and I did give it 4 stars, and I do hope to plan to kind of continue listening to nonfiction audiobooks. I think it's kind of my best way to consume nonfiction. I feel like it worked out really well this time around. So we'll see when I pick up my next one. I don't plan on picking one up right now, but probably relatively soon, maybe in the next couple weeks or so. I don't listen to audiobooks like super frequently. But in terms of the Hanjin Murders, so I did go to the coffee shop this morning, and I planned to leave after I got to my 100-page mark in here. I got to the 70-page mark and then was just weirdly interrupted. It was kind of a weird, I don't know. So the coffee shop that I went to allows for dogs to be in there. And so there was this little black mop dog. He was in there and he was real well behaved, real like just calm, gentle, stayed right by his owner, sat, and really well behaved. And so I was kind of watching him because he's cute, and then they went around the corner and all of a sudden I hear, "Get that thing away from me!" And I was like, it like was really loud and really aggressive and startled me, and startled the guy, this like older man next to me as well. And then the owner and the dog kind of were like, okay, and they just quietly left. And then this guy that yelled to get that thing away from me stormed up to the counter and was like leaning over the counter and yelling at the girls that work at the coffee shop that they shouldn't allow dogs in here, and he doesn't want dogs in this coffee shop. And it was like really like getting in their space and being aggressive. And one of the ladies was like, well, we allow dogs in the coffee shop, so we're not gonna curb our policy when people expect to be able to bring dogs in here because they know that that's part of our policy. And if you have that big of a problem with it, then I think you can leave. Because he's like really rude and everything. But the older man next to me was like, I thought dogs were supposed to be man's best friend, making a light little quip. And I said, well, apparently not that guy's best friend or whatever, just, being polite and responding. And that was my biggest mistake. Oh, now my ear is going off. Sorry if you hear that in the background, but that was my mistake, because then he did not stop talking to me for I swear half an hour. I just sit there, and he wanted to talk about the Packer game. And then he got into this whole long tangent about Muhammad Ali. How, I don't know where we even got started on there. But apparently he's met him twice and was telling me all these facts about Muhammad Ali. And I'm too nice of a person to just start blatantly ignoring him and just going back to my book. So I kept going with the conversation, but I was like, I just want to read. I'm not here to converse. He was nice. He wasn't creepy or weird or anything. He was just genuinely a person that seemed like he just wanted somebody to talk to. So I sat and talked with him, and if there are some people that sit and try to strike up conversation, you get that bad gut feeling that they're creepy or not a nice person or something like that. And I didn't get that from this guy at all. I wasn't worried about him or anything. I just was annoyed that I was not able to just sit and read in quiet. Long tangent aside, I got home and I read the last 30 pages that I wanted to get through before I checked in with you. That was a long story, but I did get to my 100-page mark. And I am enjoying it so far. I'm definitely enjoying it. I had kind of a hard time initially getting into it because the writing style is kind of dry. But I think part of that has to do with the fact that it is a translated work. So I feel like through translation, you do lose some of the author's own voice. I know the translators obviously do their best to keep it as close as possible, but it's not a perfect system, and not to mention it was written in the 70s, I think. 1973 was when it was first published. I'm gonna be honest, I actually don't off the top of my head know the time period of Agatha Christie's books when they were published, but this feels like that sort of classic murder mystery. I read a couple of Agatha Christie books, and it was a while ago, quite a while ago, but from what I remember, this definitely has those classic vibes. It all has a similar tone, and I don't quite know how to explain that tone, but once I got used to it, I am enjoying it quite a bit. So what's interesting is it feels like Yokomizo himself is talking to you, as in he is this author that he writes obviously murder mysteries, and so in the beginning it's he's been kind of traveling around and he stumbles across this village and a couple surrounding villages that all talk about this notorious murder that happened a couple years ago, and that's his inspiration to write a, what did he call it, a locked room murder mystery. A locked room murder mystery, a genre that any self-respecting detective novelist will attempt at some point in his or her career. And so he's this is perfect. This is my locked room murder mystery that I will write about. And so it's kind of him telling you about all this information that he's gathered. And then which is kind of interesting. It took me a little bit to figure out if it was supposed to be Yokomizo or if it was supposed to be the detective who is Kasuke Kendaichi, and it's definitely not Kindaichi, because he actually comes in as a character at around maybe the 60-page mark, and he's kind of an interesting character as well, and so I'm excited to see now that, like, because the beginning you were getting like a bunch of information about like the family of this couple that's getting married, and it was interesting, but it definitely leaned more towards the dry side until like the murder happened, and now we're like trying to figure out what's going on, and there's all these really weird things happening, really weird circumstances, and so I'm really excited to see how this all gets pulled together, especially because this is, like I said, a short novel, 189 pages, so I have like 89 pages left of this, and to see kind of how it all comes together is gonna be really interesting. I don't know if I'll check in again with you tonight unless I like hit a big like talking piece in this, but I will definitely check in with you tomorrow for sure if I don't do it tonight. Okay, bye-bye. Hello. I cut my hair. I know, you're still trying to figure out what's going on. I know. I cut my hair. It's all gone. So I cut my hair. I had an eye appointment this morning, so I have new glasses coming too. But those aren't gonna be here for this vlog. They'll be like, they said 2 weeks at the latest. So it'll be a while before I get those, but I've been thinking about cutting my hair for a while now, just because, what's wrong, my dear? Just because the length that I had it is the longest that I've had it in a very long time. Usually I do this thing where I like to grow it out as long as I can stand it and then chop it all off, but I think the length that I got it to before I cut it just now is the longest length that I've been able to get it to in a while. But I was just getting sick of it. I was sick of it. I'm gonna miss being able to like braid it, but I just like this length a lot better. So yeah, got a haircut. Went to the eye doctor. So I got a new prescription for new contacts. New glasses are gonna be coming, which I'm very excited about those because I think that they're pretty cute. I was an idiot and forgot to take like a picture of them on me before I left the store. So I won't be able to like show what they look like for another 2-ish weeks. Little Miss Toaster's hopped up on the bed. Somehow I ended up in Barnes & Noble. Somehow. I blacked out and woke up and had 3 books in my hand and was suddenly like, no, Sarah, no, you have to hold back, you have to restrain. Your cart is full, it's overflowing, you don't need any more books. So I'm very proud of myself. After I came out of my trance, I put them back and I didn't buy anything. I did want to give a little bit of an update besides the haircut. A little bit of an update on this. I think I have, this is the second murder mystery that I've read this month. I read the book Red Palace by Junher, which is coming out, I think tomorrow. I think it's actually coming out tomorrow, but I had an arc of it and I read it earlier this month. Really enjoyed it. That's a murder mystery. And then there's this is obviously a murder mystery, and I've just been thriving. I love a good murder and a good mystery, and so I think I'm entering my mystery era, which is exciting because yeah, I've just been enjoying them. This one's fun because like I said, it's the author like himself relaying this story that he heard about this murder mystery, and following the detective Kasuke Kindaichi. I keep having to look to make sure like I say it correctly because I keep wanting to say Sasuke, because Kasuke, I don't know if you can read that, it's probably backwards. It's spelt the same way as Sasuke, but with a K at the beginning instead of an S. And so I keep having to remind myself, Sarah, this isn't Naruto. Okay, this is completely different. It's interesting though, because he'll say, like, there'll be like a question that Kendaichi asks somebody, and then there'll suddenly be like a little comment, little did he know how important this was going to be for the answer to this murder mystery, or he didn't think of this being an important question at the time, but it ended up being a pinnacle point of the reveal. And you're just like, but how? Because it's just like off the wall random stuff that doesn't seem to be connected. And so it's just kind of fun. Normally I don't like those little, like, little did he know, or like, we thought this, but like those kind of like dramatic little blurbs, but it just fits with this book really well, and I'm kind of enjoying it. And then we came across like kind of a big reveal, like twist thing, and I was just like, oh yeah, I'm enjoying this. This is pretty good. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. Like I said, I've got about 50 pages left, so I think I'm gonna go and just finish it now. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to pop in, give a little update. It is Monday. I don't think I said that. It's Monday. It's Monday at like 1:30. Yeah, I don't think I said that. But I'll pop in a little bit. Update you on if I have any more like final thoughts. And yeah, I'm just gonna go finish this. Hello. It is still Monday. I just changed into comfier clothes, but I did finish this. I really enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting the ending, and like how it all worked out, and I appreciated how it was all like, you know, really broken down. You know, here's my conclusion, and here's how everything worked out and where everything came into play. And it was definitely very, very creative, and unexpected for sure. I enjoyed that. So one thing that I was bothered by was that we didn't get like a solid feel for like some of the key players' personalities until like the end, when they went through their whole kind of like explanation as to like people's motives and like why this fits and stuff. And then they went into like this in-depth analysis of like each character's personalities and stuff and like mindsets, and I was like, we kind of got little glimpses of those, but I do feel like if this was like longer, I think we could have like gotten a bunch of that, and it would have then not felt like, let me just give you a bunch of information that like I'm suddenly, my air again, I swear, every time I do an update, it's gonna turn on. But like it just felt like it was like, let me now give you this information that was like should have been given to you in the beginning. I don't know, it just kind of bugged me. I definitely want to continue reading these as they get translated. Don't know when I will like get to the next ones, because like I said, I've got like pretty substantial cart here, and I don't have the next ones, and I am on a book buying ban. But yeah, I think I gave this like 3.5 stars, but it's a very, very strong, very close to 4. 3.5 stars. I have one more day off, and so right now it's like 5:30. So I've got the whole evening. I've got one more day off. So one more day on this vlog. So we are gonna pick the next book that I'm gonna read. I'm gonna use my jar again, because again, I am kind of overwhelmed with my options right now. But yeah, I'm gonna pick 3 of these because you know what happened the last time I picked one. So I'm not gonna play that game anymore. I'm just gonna be straight up with you and pick 3, and pick from there. So here's one. I'm not gonna open it yet. I feel like I keep thinking that I'm like pulling some of these out and like undoing them. Here's 2. Like I said, I'm not gonna open it quite yet. And here's 3. So my options. Number 1. A Lesson in Vengeance. The universe is telling me that I need to just read this book. A Lesson in Vengeance, because that was one of the options from the last time. And like, I think I need to clarify. The last time I set it aside, not because like of the mixed reviews, because I actually really like reading books that have mixed reviews, because I'm always very curious about where I'm gonna fall in terms of like the opinions on there. I just wasn't feeling like reading a book that has mixed reviews at the time, and I also just wasn't quite vibing with the Dark Academia vibe, but it is a contender now because I am kind of feeling that, so we will see. So A Lesson in Vengeance is number 1. Oh, this is one that I've really been wanting to read, but I've been putting it off because it's the first in a series, and I have been trying. I didn't want to start another series while having so many going. That's Senlin Ascends. Ooh. But I did just finish the Mistborn trilogy. So, I've been really excited about that one. And the Hazelwood is the 3rd one, and it's I think it might be part of a duology, but I think from the sounds of it, it can stand alone. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not quite feeling this one right now. This is like a young adult, darker, creepier fantasy, but between the other 2, I think I'm gonna toss this one back in the jar because I'm feeling the other 2 more than I'm feeling this one right now. I feel like I like doing TBRs. I like fluctuate between being a TBR reader and a mood reader. And I did TBRs for a good portion of last year. And then like the last handful of months, I think after October, I definitely became more of like a mood reader. And I'm feeling that vibe right now. A mood reader. So we're gonna put the Hazelwood back because I'm not quite feeling it, but I am. Oh, see, I don't know, because I've been really excited about Senlin Ascends, but I am actually kind of feeling A Lesson in Vengeance right now. So basically, let me talk about what these are about. Okay, let me grab them both. Let me grab them both on this card. They're actually both. Look at that. They're actually right next to each other. We're plugged in now. You can see a little bit more of my mess. I'll block it. Okay. So, we're going to talk about both of these, and then hopefully talking through them will help me decide. Hi, Toasty. Hi. So, we have A Lesson in Vengeance. We have this beautiful Owl Crate edition. Look at these. Hi. Hi, do you want to help me decide which one I'm going to read? Yeah? You want to help me decide? How do you feel about this one? How do you feel? Okay, so it says, Felicity Morrow is back at the Dalloway School. Perched in the Catskill Mountains, the centuries-old ivory-covered campus was home until the tragic death of her girlfriend. Now after a year away, she's returned to finish high school. She even has her old room in Godwin House, the exclusive dormitory rumored to be haunted by the spirits of 5 Dalloway students. Girls, some say, were witches. The Dalloway 5 all died mysteriously, one after another, right on Godwin grounds. Witchcraft is woven into Dalloway's past. The school doesn't talk about it, but the students do. In secret rooms and shadowy corners, girls convene. And before her girlfriend died, Felicity was drawn to the dark. She's determined to leave that behind now, but it's hard when Dalloway's occult history is everywhere, and when the new girl won't let her forget. It's Ellis Haley's first year at Dalloway, and she's already amassed a loyal following. A prodigy novelist at 17, Ellis is a so-called method writer. She's eccentric and brilliant, and Felicity can't shake the pull she feels to her. So when Ellis asks Felicity to help her research the Dalloway Five for her second book, Felicity can't say no. Given her history with the arcane, Felicity is the perfect resource. And when history begins to repeat itself, Felicity will have to face the darkness in Dalloway and in herself. So that's what this one's about. This one is a standalone. And then we have Sunlit Ascends. This is the first book in the, I think it's Books of Babel series. There are, I think, 4 out, and the series just finished with the last book being published last year. This says, mild-mannered headmaster Thomas Sunland prefers his adventures to be safely contained within the pages of a book, so when he loses his new bride shortly after embarking on the honeymoon of their dreams, he is ill-prepared for the trouble that follows. To find her, Sunland must enter the Tower of Babel, a world of geniuses and tyrants, of luxury and menace, of unusual animals and mysterious machines. He must endure betrayal, assassination attempts, and the illusions of the tower, and if he hopes to ever see his wife again, he will have to do more than just survive. This quiet man of letters must become a man of action. This is an adult fantasy series. This is a YA, dark academia, bordering on horror novel. And again, I just can't decide which one I want to read. I've been really excited about this for a while now, and I've been itching to pick it up for a while now, but I'm kind of like gravitating towards this one. Next time I check in, I will hopefully have, started one of these, and we'll have updates on whichever one I start and how far I am. Good morning. It is Tuesday, about 10:30 in the morning. As you can see, I'm still in my cozy clothes. I've had a really slow morning getting up and getting going. I did end up picking up a lesson in Vengeance. I'm about 67 pages through, so about that far. I ended up picking this up over Sunlit Ascends for a couple different reasons. Funny thing is, Connor tried to help me pick out which book I was going to read next, and he picked Sunlit Ascends. And then I ended up picking the exact opposite. But yeah, so I'm about 67 pages into this, and let me tell you, the vibes are immaculate. The aesthetic, beautiful, perfect. I am absolutely 100% here for just the whole dark academia, creepy, unsettling vibe that this book has, with like dark academia mixed with like old ghost story feel. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I feel like we haven't really gotten into like the plot too much. We're really just meeting the characters and getting a good feel for them. But yeah, so far I'm really enjoying this, and I'm glad that I decided to pick it up. Today, like I said, I am going into this a little wary because of like the mixed reviews that I've seen, but so far I'm really enjoying it and really vibing with it. I think Victoria Lee's writing style just encompasses the whole atmosphere of this story perfectly. She's got this like creepy yet decadent writing style, and I'm really enjoying it. So like I said, it's 10:30 this morning, so plenty of time to continue reading this. And I'm gonna be also continuing to putz around with my Dracula jigsaw puzzle that I'm working on. Yeah, I don't know, I have a much slower day today planned. Actually, I really don't have anything planned in comparison to like yesterday. It's freezing outside, it's below 0. So I'm definitely gonna stay inside today. But yeah, I will just leave you here and check in with you later. Hello, it is Tuesday evening. No, I did not change my clothes today, and no, I don't want to hear about it. Yeah, I just kind of realized that I never changed out of my comfy clothes today. But I am here with one last update before I close this vlog out. I did make some progress in this. We are about roughly a third of the way through, maybe a little under a third. No, about a third. About a third of the way through now. Page 132. I really love these chapter headings. I think they're really pretty. I'm very entertained still, even though the plot is like really slow. I'm just really enjoying the atmosphere of the story a lot, which I feel like is just like half of what Dark Academia is like. Those types of books are just half of them is the atmosphere. But we finally reached the point where Ellis, the prodigy author, is asking Felicity for help in recreating the Dalloway 5 murders in order to like do research for her book. So we've just now reached that point of where she's asking for assistance, so they haven't even started recreating them yet. However, definitely very spooky, very good for curling up on a winter day's evening. We've got Felicity that who's really trying to still work through a lot of her grief and guilt over her girlfriend's death, and kind of like how the like more occult murderous history of the school is really starting to just kind of like toy with her mind and everything. I am curious because I feel like I'm getting close to the point where I'm gonna start like noticing some of the aspects that people complain about this book about. I know a lot of people say that it feels like there's like two kind of distinct different stories going on in here, and that like atmosphere and like vibes of the book are absolutely immaculate, which I agree with 100% so far, but plot cohesiveness is really left to be desired, and since nothing has really happened in the plot so far, I have not noticed anything, but I feel like now that we're gonna start really kicking into it, I'm probably gonna at least recognize where people are complaining about that. Now, whether or not what is in here works for me or not, we will see. We will see if I end up having the same complaints, or if I like the lack of cohesiveness, because I know a lot of times I found the chaoticness of Dark Academia is part of like what makes the story. And so I don't know, we'll see kind of where I fall on that, but yeah, I am enjoying it so far. So yeah, I am gonna end this here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my little cozy, slow, long extended weekend. I had a lot of fun this weekend. I enjoyed it. It was relaxing. And yeah, I just thank you so much for watching. I hope you consider sticking around and subscribing. As always, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!